Hi, I'm Eric, also known as Trekkie V47, from the Ranger Command Power Hour and the Starfleet Escape Podcast. You're listening to another great Four-Eyed Radio product. For more shows, check out foureyedradio.com. It's morphin' time!
Starfleet Escape Podcast. Prepare for launch in 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome to the Starfleet Escape Podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network, where we escape into the Star Trek universe. This is episode number 43 and is being recorded on July 11th, 2014. I'm Aaron.
I'm Marty.
And I'm Houston.
This episode is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com. So thank you for joining us today, Houston.
Thank you. No, thanks for having me. Pardon the expression.
So we're very excited about your projects that you have here. It must have been over a year ago that you started the new Starship restoration.
Yes, it was in August of 2012 is when it officially began, because what really happened was I purchased the Enterprise D bridge and the original series bridge back in November. I think it was November of 2011, and that's it was just basically. It was being thrown out, and if I didn't rescue it, it was going to be gone forever the very next week. So it was one of those things.
Wow.
And I spent about almost 6 months going to all of the Hollywood people I knew and the millionaires I knew, there weren't many, and asking them, telling them about this, and none of them really cared, which really was shocking. And so I had one last ditch effort, because honestly, if this didn't work out, I was going to go bankrupt, and I couldn't afford to let that happen. Between my paying $7,000 for the shipping and my trying to store it and the other additional pieces from the bridge I'd purchased from the Star Trek Vegas experience closeout sale and all this stuff, I didn't have that kind of money just to be a fan, and so I went to Las Vegas convention in August of 2012, and I said, I got to do this. I've got to make one last ditch effort plea to the Star Trek people that really actually give a damn. And so I went to Ronald D. Moore, and I went to Brent Spiner, and I went to John Delancey, and a few others, and I basically showed them photos of my set. And Ronald D. Moore, was very busy because he was going from one thing to the other, and then I showed him photos, and he was, oh my God. So they got it, and thank God they got it, because had those famous people not supported me, nobody else would have heard of this. This would have just died by the wayside, and I would have been forced to auction pieces of it off, So that's how it all began. And do you want me to go into the next part of the story? Because it's that's where things get crazy. We were going to obviously restore the D bridge from Next Generation, and we were going to start touring it to other museums. And I'd been dealing with CBS from the very beginning, because they own the intellectual rights to Star Trek and our set and everything.
Right.
So I wanted them to be happy. I wanted them to know that we weren't screwing them over, that we weren't pulling some shenanigans, with the V for Vendetta mask on, and so we got to a certain point where they said, okay, what you're doing is going to be competing with our traveling exhibit, because they still have one of the other, they have the sister bridge to our other bridge, and they've been touring it around. Right now, I think it's in the Mall of America in Minneapolis, or no, the original series one is, and the other one's in Asia somewhere. Anyway, they didn't want our nonprofit venture to compete with their for-profit venture, which makes perfect sense. And so I said, okay, well, our only other option is either to donate our bridges to some museum, which I don't want to do, or to create our own museum. And that way it wouldn't conflict with CBS, because we'd be our own museum, and we wouldn't be using their bridge.
Yeah.
So in that mess, and I said it wouldn't be just Star Trek either. It would be everything. Battlestar Galactica, which Ronald D. Moore produced, and he's on our board of directors. Firefly, which Timothy Earls, who's on our board of directors, designed the ship of Serenity. So it's all these tie-ins, and Star Wars, and Firefly, and Babylon 5, and Metropolis, and Time Machine, and Planet of the Apes, everything, and call it the Hollywood Science Fiction Museum. So, they were just, well, that has nothing to do with us, as long as you don't, with our name and franchise. So I said, all right, we're just going to rush this and get this going and explode to the media and to the world that this is what we're doing. And we did a Kickstarter last month, and we asked for $83,000, and we ended up getting. We asked for $82,000, and we ended up getting over $93,000.
That's awesome.
Mainly because of George Takei coming through at the last minute,
right?
And Facebooking and retweeting and all that stuff. And God bless him, man. He saved our behinds. So now the next step is to not spend as much money as possible, other than we've got our hats. I'm showing our hat right here. Awesome. Other than our hats and our new shirts and our mugs and our, all that kind of stuff that we're giving out to the fans for donating, I'm trying to see how much we can save by getting pro bono work, because we need people to do the fundraising. We need the for-profit and the non-profit fundraising. The for-profit is the sponsors, the branding, the people who, like for a restaurant, Coke, whatever. Yep. And the non-profit is the foundations like Vulcan, who's Paul Allen's company, co-founder of Microsoft, government grants, going to Bill Gates, going to Google, et cetera, all tax-deductible donations and grants. And, like I've said in the very beginning, the one thing I don't want to do is have to keep going back to the fans and bleeding them dry, because that's stupid. And most fans aren't, newsflash, aren't millionaires, billionaires. So
right.
Some are. I've met a couple, but most of them, I don't want to do that to them, nor would I want someone to do that to me. So we're to a certain point now. We're at a legitimacy, and we're just going forward and onward and upward. And by the end of 2015, we should have the first incarnation of this Hollywood Sci-Fi Museum.
Right. You're having a preview of the museum.
We're calling it a preview. It's going to be a hell of a lot more than a preview, honestly.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot more kick-ass than that. We're going to have our Enterprise D bridge from Star Trek Next Generation. It's going to be complete and finished.
Awesome.
I think we're also going to have the finished original series bridge set that we have. And we'll probably have the full-size Viper and Raider from Battlestar Galactica.
That's nice.
Wars version. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's in storage, It's sitting in storage.
Collecting dust.
By Universal. What's that?
Collecting dust.
Exactly, yeah. Most stuff is, because there's no museum. We're fulfilling a need here. And so that's what we're doing. I think we're talking to people of NASA. By the way, our two newest board members are both from NASA. Astronaut Catherine Coleman, Katie Coleman, and Elizabeth LeBlanc, who's head of programming and interactivity at NASA. And so we're thrilled to have them. And our other board members, of course, are David Gerald, who wrote the Tribbles episode, among other things, Martian Child, and Timothy Earls, who designed Serenity. He designed Iron Man 3, Fast and Furious, etc. We got Ronald D. Moore, as I said. We've got Larry Nemechek, who's Star Trek expert and author, and wonderful person. And we have Andrew Probert, who designed the Cylon Centurions, the light cycles from Tron. Star Trek for years and years. He designed our Enterprise. He designed our bridge, and actually the actual ship too, and also the Wrath of Khan, the refit. And of course Doug Drexler, who's brilliant, Oscar winner, and makeup artist. And God, there's very few things that Doug Drexler doesn't do. So yeah, we're just very, very fortunate and lucky to be at this point and have credibility. And my God, we're doing something that I've always personally wanted, but everybody else really wants too. So, make it so.
Looking at your website, the museum will be the first solar-powered museum?
Yeah, this first one probably won't because we're not building the building from scratch.
Okay.
The one that we want to build, the 2018-2019 one, that will be from scratch. That one we will have total control. That one it'll not only be solar powered, it will have recyclable water. There are a lot of things that NASA is doing up in their space station that can be done on Earth, but people just don't want to spend the initial money because they don't see past the end of their nose. It's the non-Asian Japanese mentality of I'm not going to look 20 years in advance or even 10 years. So that seems to be a big problem with many people. But then there's Elon Musk and there's people like that who do see a bigger future, a bigger tomorrow. Our ultimate museum is going to be solar powered, recyclable water. It will also have a hotel right next to it.
Okay.
So people can stay in the hotel. And because strangely, this sounds like a joke, there are not enough hotels in Los Angeles. They are always, that's a big problem. And I'm trying to deal with the city right now with Garcetti's office.
I think that would be like saying there's not enough gambling in Vegas, but...
Yeah. Well, there isn't.
I know. Yeah, there never is.
No, there truly, that is a big problem. Now, we're talking higher scale. We're not talking dives and, hey, honey, could I have it for an hour?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The higher echelon.
Right. And so for our 2015, we're going to have our museum in a pre-existing location. So all we have to do is build it out on the inside, but it's already going to be there. Okay. And we'll have an amazing restaurant. We've got this. We haven't talked about it that much yet, but it is killer, man. It's going to be a restaurant unlike any restaurant in the world. It's going to be a spaceship restaurant.
Nice.
And that's really all I can say right now. But it's
okay.
Have you ever heard of a restaurant called Dive that it was created and owned by, I think it was Spielberg and Geffen and someone else created this. It was a flop, unfortunately. There were two of them. There was one in Vegas and there was one in L.A. And it was a submarine. You got inside of a submarine, and every 15, 20 minutes, every 15 minutes or 20 minutes, you'd say, dive, bing, 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 and you'd see there was water that you'd see bubbles go across the window like you were in the submarine at Disneyland.
Oh, interesting.
So it was okay. But my thought was, why the hell didn't they do a spaceship?
Right.
And so that's what we're doing, and Lord knows I've got the most appropriate, creative people to help me with that, with our board of directors. And Tim Earls right now is helping, Andy Probert's helping, and we're just trying to get the logistics of it together. Okay, is this going to be more like medieval times, or is it going to be more like a standard restaurant? Any schmuck can come in at any time of the day, or do you have a set menu, or blah, blah, blah. But either way, this is going to be the most awesome restaurant in the world. I'm so excited about this. As I'm almost as excited about the restaurant as I am about the museum, because they're both so cool, and they both are sci-fi.
Right.
Cool.
So so when will the restaurant be complete?
2015, end of 2015.
Okay.
They will both be because on a business level, the restaurant and the gift shop will both function in the making of money for this nonprofit 501c3 museum. So no matter how much money we make from the museum, we'll still make money from that gift shop and from the restaurant.
Yep.
It all feeds into each other. And, for the later 2018, 2019, the hotel will serve the same function.
Yep.
Even though the hotel will be for-profit, obviously, the restaurant will be for-profit. The museum will still make money. How can it not? Because it's a triad there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't consider a restaurant to be non-profit.
No, definitely not.
Unless you, which won't happen, I'm sure, but if you like dive, that was non-profit. But
I don't know. Hey, Geffen and Spielberg, those are my heroes, and those are a lot of the people who will be helping in this thing. And they had a great idea.
You know how many times you have to go out there and put yourself on the line in order to make it? Yeah, it's just inevitable.
Richard Branson, same thing.
Yep.
These are people, these are probably completely insane people, but crazy like a fox, If God knows how many times I've been called insane, but I do keep myself grounded and surrounded by people who are already proven. And this isn't bragging. I've had millionaires and billionaires contacting me and meeting with me because they believe in this, and they don't know quite where it's going to go. Mm-hmm. Again, neither do I. They're not throwing money at me, but what they are doing is they're saying, look, kid, if you need help, this is something really cool, and if you do this, they've been giving advice, and they've been cluing me into other people and saying, talk to this person's doing this, and this person might be interested. And the last podcast I did, they mentioned that the head of Amazon is a big Trekkie or Trekker. You think I'm going to stop and not go? Nothing. I'm fearless that way, because what's the worst anyone can say is no.
Right.
Exactly.
So the 2018 museum plan to have a hall of cars, which everyone seems to be excited about.
Yeah, and Motor Trend magazine did a story about us. Isn't that amazing? That's awesome. That blew my mind, and I told my friend about that, and he said, do they know that it's not real yet?
Yeah.
Well, the mock-up looked beautiful. Yeah. All the images on your website are awesome.
True. That's a guy named Leonard Emery who is just genius. He's a brilliant designer, and he actually did the Star Trek calendar last year and this year.
Okay.
He did along with Doug Drexler. Yeah, he's a brilliant guy, young guy. He's under 30. I think he's like 25. And unlike me, who's in my 80s. But
hey, Aaron, he's older than you. No, just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Just by hair. Yeah.
No, he's brilliant, and our Hall of Cars is actually, we're going to have a Hall of Cars. Here's the thing. By 2015, we will have smaller representations of all of these things that we're promising for our larger museum.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will have a Hall of Robots. We will have a Hall of Cars. We'll have a Hall of Special Effects, which will have all the prosthetic faces and masks from Star Trek. We'll have.
That's something I'm interested in seeing.
I'm working with. I'll at least say this. I've been in touch with Peter Jackson's office. Mm-hmm. I've been in touch with the Jerry Anderson estate, and they own Space 999 and Thunderbirds and UFO and a lot of great things. I've been in touch with the Harryhausen Foundation, and I've been in touch with James Cameron's office. Now, James Cameron has an entire warehouse, probably more than one, of his props. He's got the Alien Queen. He has stuff from The Abyss. He has stuff from Terminator. So between these directors who are rich enough to have original props and have kept them all these years, and all the special effects houses like late Stan Winston and some of certainly Rick Baker has a whole dungeon basement that's you may have seen pictures of Frankenstein's laboratory. These people keep them, and they keep them in their office or their warehouse or whatever. Where the hell else are they going to put them? They'll bring them to Monsterpalooza once a year, show them off, and all these other brilliant people who've created. Guillermo del Toro, same thing. Guillermo del Toro, right?
Guillermo,
I'm sorry, Mr. Del Toro. Anyway, all these people have stuff, and if we can prove to them that we're not going to go out of business or do a fire sale or catch on fire, or as long as they know that their stuff is safe in a controlled environment, controlled temperature, all the above, and insured, then we're gold. We will be gold with these people, and that's the next big step once we get to the next financial level, which is like $1 million, $2 million from the big boys, and then we're going to burn up those phones making deals. We've already made some deals that we haven't talked about yet, but things are going well.
Nice. Do you have a location already set for the preview museum? Or?
Well, there's two that I have in mind, but again, until we have $1 million, $2 million, we can't do a down payment.
Gotcha.
Unless some noble character comes in and gives us land, or gives it, again, with the Garcetti's, Mayor Garcetti's office in Los Angeles, $1 a year deal. So,
it gives you a really big blank check.
Yeah, that's another option. But the main thing is this is prime real estate, and a nonprofit in a prime real estate area it won't work unless we get a hell of a deal, and that's what we're working on right now. But I can tell you this: a bulk of the buildings on Hollywood Boulevard are owned by the Scientologists, by L. Ron Hubbard's foundation or estate or whatever they're calling it. And so that's a big option if we want to go to Hollywood and Vine or Hollywood and Highland. And the other option is Sunset and Vine, which is near the Cinerama Dome. And both of those places would suit our purposes, so that, say, Star Wars, say some big sci-fi movie wants to, or the next Star Trek, the next Bob Orci. I don't know. He hasn't returned my phone calls. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But anyway, whichever sci-fi film it is, they have their film at the big theater where they'd have their premiere anyway. They go down the street, across the street, around the block, whatever, to our museum and have our after party. Have their after party in our restaurant and in our museum, where they would see all of their props in our traveling exhibit room. So they'd see all the artwork from their movies and from all of their things. The thing is, Hollywood is a major butt-kissing town, and if you accept that and you just embrace it, which we are,
and work it,
exactly. We're there for them, and they're there for us. It's as simple as that, and that's
like
why
any
Hollywood
business or politics.
Exactly. Yeah. If you play by their game, you can still do what you want to do, and that's what we want to do. And we're doing nothing but promoting their franchises. The other big element of this is the stars coming in with their families and pointing at something and saying, "I did this. This is my legacy." That's a big deal, and there's nothing like that in the world that these people can do that with, except probably at Disneyland for George Lucas coming in with, But there's no lasting thing that's an educational venue, certainly, or medium.
Well, that's the one thing that I get from this that excites me, is that there's no place to actually go see these things.
Right.
It's wasted.
Yeah, and it's usually destroyed. How many props, how many sets have been destroyed? It's heartbreaking. So hopefully the bigger we get and the more notoriety we get, we'll be able to physically grow bigger and have more room to display damn near everything. I mean, that's really exciting to me. And there's also there's the EMP Museum in Seattle, which is Paul Allen's museum, which it's not specifically sci-fi, but my God, the props they have there and the costumes he has that he's loaned them, it's astonishing. Everything, not just sci-fi, the axe from the Shining, Buffy's stake, this kind of stuff. And there's a DC museum trying to open up too, that is going to be a sci-fi educational museum, and they're coming at it from a different approach than we are, which is great because we don't compete that way. So yeah, I think the direction we're going is a good place. I mean, if things change and things go down the commode for whatever reason, we can always alter our course, but people seem to think this is going to work if we do this wisely. Like that.
It's a good angle to be in.
Yeah. So far.
Things always change, but I'm pretty sure, personally, I don't think it will for you, so hopefully.
Well, we're adaptable. I mean, if we weren't adaptable, this would still be the bridge restoration and nothing else.
Yeah, the quick and the dead.
It would have been had we just panicked and gone the same direction. This will break our ties from anyone telling us what to do, unless we work out specific deals with studios, which we're already in the midst of doing. That's one of the first ones I went to was Universal, who was, you get this together, and this together, give us a call. Wow, okay, that simple? Wow. They still have Buck Rogers, they still have Firefly, they still have Bionic Man, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman. They've still got props from a lot of stuff. So does Sony, so does Warner. Paramount, unfortunately, had a fire sale in 2005 and got rid of damn near everything, which is heartbreaking. And now CBS still has stuff.
There was a lot of Star Trek involved with that too, wasn't there?
Oh, most of it.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars was sold of Star Trek. And thankfully, though, there are 3 people I know who purchased most of it, and they're the ones who support us and that I'm dealing with. So once we get to the next step, I've already been promised some really, really cool stuff. So awesome. we'll be able to give fans something that they've been wanting and that I personally have been wanting, and make it for everybody and inspire people and educate people. And yeah, that's what better personal legacy for me than to do that. So
definitely.
And then I dropped dead. So yeah.
Because you work so much. Yeah. Yeah. You get to the point where you have everything you want, and then you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, he got it done and died.
Now I can take a rest.
Yes, exactly. Right. Hopefully if I get a girlfriend out of it, that would be really cool. That's, yeah.
Well, if any ladies out there are listening.
Yes, exactly. Under 80. Yes.
Under 80.
Although you did do a good 80-year-old impression a few minutes ago.
I did.
Maybe we put a little makeup on there and...
But I got the legs of a 60-year-old.
So I think it's awesome that you're also, like you said, using this museum to educate people. You're using the STEM education.
Yeah, well, it's STEAM now. Did you know about that? They've added art in there. Thank God. So it's science, technology, art, technology, and science, technology. Monkeys is in there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Planet of the Apes. You got
math and monkeys and something. Yes, that's the only way to do it, really. I mean, if you. But that said, I don't want this to only be that, because that's the exclusion factor again. The reason a lot of science museums are so boring is because, I'm sorry, I think they are, and is because they're geared either for little kids or for people who only care about science. There's no in between, really. And I'm sorry, I'm lousy at science, and most of it is way over my head and doesn't interest me. So where am I when I go to a science museum? Well, that's interesting. But blah, blah, blah. I don't want our museum to be that. I want our museum to cater to the scientists, the biologists, as well as the filmmakers and the historians and NASA future astronauts, or people just wanting to have fun. Yes, totally. Well, that's the easy part. The geeks is the easy part. Yeah, or people who don't know what they want to do with their lives. Costuming, who knows?
Which would be about 80% of the United States now? No,
yeah.
Oh, speaking of costuming, you going to encourage some cosplaying at your museum?
Not only encourage, they can't get in. That's another thing museums don't allow is cosplay, which is pretty ridiculous to me. And they allow it at Hong Kong Disneyland.
Yes, they do.
You can dress up as a princess.
It's the only...
Lord knows I've done that many times.
Me too.
I don't think even American Disneyland, I don't think they allow, or Disney World
They
allows
don't, unless you're a kid, because of the whole post-9/11 reasons.
Yes, because so many fairies and princesses are deadly.
Are terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how many deaths or violence has ever been caused at a comic convention? I've never heard of one. I heard about
No.
someone was accidentally stabbed in the eye with a pencil because someone turned quickly. That's the most violence. Someone was hit by a car 2 years ago at Comic-Con in San
Did they
Diego.
find out if it was Al Qaeda? No, just kidding.
Yeah, but no, there's geeks and nerds are good people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go to
definitely.
those things because they want to start riots.
Mm-hmm.
They're there because they want to be accepted. They want to be loved. They want to find someone to love. They want to meet their favorite whomever, or show their talent in whatever. And for our museum to encourage that is major on my list. And that's not just a kiss-ass thing I'm doing to try to make the cosplayers go, yeah, he's so cool. No, man, if you don't do this, what's the point of doing it? It's just like going, I'm only going to go this far, and then I'm not going to go all the way. And it's not, that's why things fail.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go full force and say, we're going to do this, this, and this, we're going to do it right, we're going to blow people's minds, that's why we're allowing cosplay, and many of those people are serious costume makers as well.
Right.
And we're going to have costumes at our place that are from all shows, and we'll have the actual costume people talking, the creators and designers talking about how they made it.
Nice.
And again, part of the experience, part of the filmmaking. If you want to be a director, a writer, CG, artist, constructor, whatever it happens to be, there is something at our museum for you, and there's also you'll have an agenda there. If you say, okay, I'm interested in being a costume, okay, it's still going to be Costume 101, but you're getting Costume 101 from Star Wars and Star Trek and Firefly and Battlestar Galactica and whatever. So I'm very passionate about that.
What I've also
You would
found
have never
is
guessed that.
with the realm of science fiction, you always have the need for exposure to all of it, because all these directors and creators that you have out there now, I notice that their influences are from watching the old shows or seeing the mixes of different things, Star Wars versus Star Trek, or Firefly and Battlestar Galactica and Babylon 5, all these different things, and they come up with something new. So it's also great to inspire. It's almost like a muse.
Oh, that's totally it. That's totally
it is
it.
in the word, muse am. So
the other thing, there are many underappreciated sci-fi TV shows, and they may have been shows that sucked. They may have been horrible shows, but did the people who made the costumes, that made the various various designs that made up of whatever show or TV show or movie it is, there's some brilliant stuff out there.
You may have horrible directing or production or even writing or acting, but you have some really good special effects or alien design or things like that. I agree with you.
And you could look at that artwork on the walls. You see that artwork, and you're like, "Wow, this looks so awesome!" And then you see the movie. Ugh.
How did this not work?
Yeah, or they didn't use it. It could have been some non-accepted. Well, I mean, the Ralph McQuarrie original designs for Star Wars have gone into infamy and have become their own figures.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that, but and his original Darth Vader, it's a very different look, and it's a sleeker look.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cooler than what they chose, but that's me.
I actually, speaking of that, I was actually at a comic book store last weekend, and they had...
Why? That's only for geeks.
It's horrible. I'm surprised they ever met a woman. No, just kidding. Basically, one of their series right now with Star Wars and the comic book adaptations is doing it from the perspective of the original design.
The Star Wars, I saw that. I haven't bought it.
I want to get it.
Me too.
It
I totally want
awesome.
it. I'm broke right now. Being the CEO of this thing, we haven't made the first $1 million, so I haven't made any money. I mean, literally, I have not made any money from this yet, which is a killer, and that's the whole reason why we have to move to the next step, because if we just keep nickel and diming and, oh, well, we can afford to go to this convention and buy this shirt and blah, blah. No, man, if we want to do this, we got to go full force. And, then I can make a profit. Because honestly, if our foundation doesn't, or I should say, if we didn't go full force with our museum, I was going to have to quit. I mean, and not to sound arrogant, but with me quitting, who the hell is going to take over? It would have gone down the commode. And so I need to make a salary from this, or I can't continue doing it. So that's the next big step. And everyone agrees. I mean, our board of directors, every friend of mine, everyone I've met said, when are you going to make some money from? Well, we've got to get to a certain point, and that can't come from the fan money that has come and made specifically for this. Mm-hmm. But when that happens, one of the first things I'm going to get is the Star Wars, and also my friend Scott Tipton's Star Trek Next Gen meets Doctor Who called something squared. Exterminations? No, what is it?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen it. I just don't know what it is.
Yes, in fact, here is the original artwork from that we had on our
oh, nice
Kickstarter.
That's pretty
very
cool.
nice.
This is all watercolor, and yeah, this is all watercolor. And, no, it's gorgeous, and someone got this for I think $400. So yeah, but that's the second thing I'm gonna get. Well, no, but it's gorgeous. My God, if I could afford to keep it, I would. Woodhouse, that's his name. Woodhouse is the artist, and Scott Tipton did that, for what it's worth. But they're friends, and the Star Wars. Sorry,
gotta get it.
Yeah,
I want
to. And some of those Comic-Con exclusives. We're gonna get Comic-Con end of this month, San Diego.
Nice.
Nice. And I forgot about that.
So you'll be bringing the bridge there.
We will be bringing the captain's chair and Riker and Troy's chair and computer only.
Okay.
And something else that we're about to work out a deal with that is a big surprise. We haven't talked about it yet. All I can say is it's either going to be one or two props from one of the biggest moneymakers of all time. And they will be an unbelievably awesome photo op for people. So the Trekkies will dig our bridge, and then these other one or two things will be for everybody else. And all I'm going to say is Joss Whedon. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But yeah, we're very close to that. I just found out today, so I think Monday we'll know, and then we'll be able to announce it. But oh my God, I was so beyond thrilled when I found out that there was a chance of that coming to our booth. Nice. Of all the booths there, at San Diego Comic-Con, that our booth was going to be the one that would have this. Oh man. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to find out on possibly Monday you'll announce it, or?
I think so. I think it'll be next week. If not Monday, it'll be next.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to that, and we'll find out from your Facebook page or from the Twitter account.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll be, believe me, for the next month we'll be promoting the crud out of it. Also with pictures, photos with people in front of these things, and oh my gosh, yeah. Hey, I don't BS and I don't over exaggerate. When I found out that these things were available to us, oh man, I just flipped. So the first photo is going to be with me. That's hands down.
So this.
He sprung a leak.
So I just went to my first Star Trek convention in Boston a couple of weeks ago.
Never been there.
Never been to Boston?
No.
You should come sometime.
It's very nice.
The other side of the world to me. I mean, it's, yeah.
So we had some cosplayers there, and the costumes were amazing. So I can only imagine what they would be doing over there.
You need to go to, well, if you want Star Trek, Vegas Star Trek is that's the be-all, end-all. That is the one. Last year we had our bridge there that you may have seen pictures of, and it was a huge deal. This year we're they had less than a week between San Diego Comic-Con and the Star Trek Vegas thing. And that would have killed us. But then also the new CBS policies, if they paid our way out there, that would say that they condone a non-official thing. And I get that. I understood. It was a bummer, but I understood. But also, it would have killed us. Less than a week, 4 days. Transit, having done 5 days 6 days if you include half a day for the preview on this Wednesday night at Comic-Con, and then doing another 4 days at Vegas. That just shoot me now, that would have just been, as much as I love it, that would have killed us. So I'm personally going to go to the Vegas one, and I'm going to be in a wedding. I was invited to participate in a wedding. Their name's Mark and Amy, and they're lovely people who I believe met on our bridge last year at
that's awesome.
Vegas. And so they wanted to have me, and I've already got my costume. They sent me the costume. It's Picard's Admiral outfit, which I was a little embarrassed to wear only because I'm not an admiral. And I said, "How about you call me Head Schmuck? Is that okay?" So yeah, it's going to be lovely, and I'm meeting a lot of friends there and people I love, and it should be really cool. I highly recommend, if you can make it to Vegas, to definitely do it, because that's amazing. Comic-Con is the Cannes Film Festival of comic conventions. I've told this story before. You sit outside in the little patio. My friend and I were sitting there, and he's really great at faces, and he said, "Oh, look over there. See that guy?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's James Cameron." "Really?" "Yeah, look over there." "Yeah, that's Natalie Portman." "Oh, look over there. There's Matt Smith and Karen Gillan." "Oh, look over there." I said, "I get it, all right? Jeez." It's really like that. It truly is like that. And it's astonishing. It truly is like the Cannes Film Festival. I was only there once, but it's just everybody coming out, having a party, and getting drunk, and spending a lot of money, and a lot of crowds. But you could feasibly stand in an elevator and meet every huge star from Johnny Depp on who comes to those things, from Tom Cruise, and they'll just, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" As long as you don't pester them and, "Oh my God," as long as you don't do that, that tends to freak them out.
Yeah, don't act like an idiot. Yeah.
And so I just, when I go up to them, I say, "Give me some money."
How's that worked out so far?
Not well, but I'll tell you, I did.
No.
I was in an elevator. I was in an elevator with John Hurt, and I looked around. And I did a double take, and I said, "Oh my God, are you who you think who you think you are?" No, I didn't say.
Who do I
said,
think
"Oh my God,
I am?"
And he goes, he says, "Well, it depends on who you think I am." And I said, my favorite actor of all time, Sir Laurence Olivier, and he laughed. So that he could have slapped me. I heard if he'd had a few, he would have probably popped me one. But no, that stuff happens. So yes, go to Comic-Con. Even if you can't get in, just go there. Go to Vegas. You can get in. You can probably get cheap tickets. I know. It's the Gold Star, I think, selling tickets for like $20 each.
Wow.
Do it, man. Do it. Live the dream.
I don't know. I'm saving up for a wedding next year.
Aren't we poor?
I'm poor.
You're going to be really poor next year, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I'm finally getting over the whole wedding thing. It was almost 10 years ago, so.
So wait, you're getting married?
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron?
He is.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow. So how long have you known each other, you and your future wife?
It's been, I get it wrong, she'll kill me.
3 days.
Isn't it like
It's
5 years?
been over 6 years that we've known each other. Yeah.
Oh, then you gotta get married. There's no excuse.
Right, yes.
Don't know. Hold on. I have a set of friends, Aaron. You know who this is.
Do I?
Yes, that waited, 11 years to get married?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or they never get married. Like,
Well, that's what we told him. And I told Aaron that, too.
Yeah. So in the wedding, we're gonna try to incorporate Star Trek and Cinderella somehow.
That's a weird mix.
We'll see how that goes.
So when are you getting married? Next year or what?
Yep, 2015.
He can't even get the year right.
August 8th, 2015.
Well, there's certain points before that we will have our bridge up and we will be doing weddings in Los Angeles. We've already got 3 or 4 booked already.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, once we have our Enterprise, it's the D bridge from Next Gen. Once we have that all set up and completed and all that, we're going to put it in the spot. It'll probably be Paramount Studios, and it'll be for, they'll be promoting it too. I mean, it's not just all benevolence, but it will be in one of their original shooting stages. We'll set it up, we'll do a big party, all that stuff, and we'll do the weddings. And so we'll set it up so we can do as many as we can in that day, because a wedding really only takes an hour for the wedding, and then you go to your whatever spot to do the after party. Yeah, exactly.
Aaron, wouldn't it be cool to actually see the real bridge?
That would be cool.
Would your girl go for it? That's the question.
I don't know. Maybe a renewal of our vows. Maybe she might go for something like that.
That's the wussy wedding way.
Yeah, but she's new to Star Trek because I've forced it upon her.
Okay. At least you admit
so. Yeah, at least I admit it. Yeah, but
I'm willing to marry anybody if I can get to sit on that in a bridge for a couple of minutes.
She did spend a lot more money than I did at the Star Trek convention, though. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Tell her that, it's the full set. This is a big bridge. This is a big set. It's 25 feet wide by 50 feet long.
Is that wide?
And, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's, and it's about 12 feet tall.
Wow.
So this is not, people say, are you going to bring, why don't you bring the whole bridge to my convention? Yeah, if I brought the bridge would be the convention, okay? There's
50
not
feet long is quite big too. I didn't know it was that ginormous. That's
and also it's going to take 2 days to set up. Let's face it, at least a day.
Right.
But a second day for the setup as well as the getting electronics to work and all that kind of stuff.
Now, is that very intricate to put them together, the pieces and stuff? Or?
Oh God, yes, man. It's not just intricate; it's dangerous. This is a heavy set.
Yeah.
If you don't have braces to hold this thing up and it collapses, you've got a bunch of dead Trekkies.
Wow.
Really
red
hit
shirts
the
or not.
newspapers.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. So, when people were saying, the fan base, the fans are going to build it. We can build the chairs. We can build the so-and-so. We can, the little things.
Yeah.
We can't friggin' build this. That you need forklifts. You need... Yes, exactly. You need a crane. You need the metal things to hold. You're talking several tons of how much this thing weighs.
Ceiling alone, and it's the ceiling too, correct?
Right.
That's got to be metal. What do you call it?
It's fiberglass.
Basically. Yeah, fiber. But even that far up, that's heavy.
Oh yeah, no, it's fiberglass with metal backing, exactly, and the walls, same thing. And when that's put together, that big center. Remember the big center section that's right above? It's where you see the stars.
Yeah,
right above Picard's head.
Yeah.
That center section it's presently in 2 pieces in my garage, and the reason for that is each section weighs 300 pounds. And it cost $25,000 to make each side of that in 1998 money. What we're probably going to do is mold it and make it out of foam so it doesn't come crashing down on everybody.
Yeah,
because if we use that original one, it's bloody suicide, and B, you have to have 3 huge metal braces, behind that, holding the thing. Yeah, which is asinine. Because it was made for tour. It was made for, here, let's throw in the back of the pickup. We're not going to be doing that. This will be here for basically ever. And, so yeah, people won't be throwing it in the back of giant freight trains anymore.
No.
But anyway, yeah. We're on a really interesting little mission, but I surround myself with people much, much more brilliant than I to come up with options and decisions. Yeah, it's always financial and safety. Those are the 2 biggies.
They say that's the trick to being successful in life. Surround yourself by people who are much more talented and smarter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
That's why I have Aaron around me. Anyway.
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess the Lakaris consoles, they all light up.
Yeah.
They're obviously not interactive. Will you put any computers in there to alternate displays?
Yeah, of course. It will look exactly like the TV set. Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Season 2 through 7. And
Nice. Yes.
we eventually would love to make it interactive and have a programming to it. That's always been our intent.
Mhm.
That at this point, that depends on CBS, Paramount, and Roddenberry Foundation. So
I was going to say, hold on a second. No, just kidding.
yeah, exactly,
Roddenberry.
exactly, right. Rod, by the way, his son,
Yeah.
Mhm.
is a wonderful guy. He is so supportive of. Well, again, we're coming at this with the same mentality that father had, in that I mean, yes, I would love a utopian future. I don't know how realistic that is, but certainly on the level of in the future there'll be no hunger, no greed, and every child will learn how to read. And why do something like this if you can't educate and inspire? And I would love to, as long as something will get us in trouble with the prospective franchise owner, we will go the furthest we can go to do that, to fulfill those goals. And it's doable. It's possible. It's all up to the people who hold the strings, who won't sue us. You know.
Right.
Please don't do that.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait for this to get off the ground. I hope to be able to make it out there in 2015.
You better.
I hope you make some money and can buy the Star Wars.
Yeah. No, I've been really tightening my belt. I mean, personally, because my God, I've been giving at least 60 hours a week to this thing for the last almost 2 years for no money.
Wow.
That's a killer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a writer.
Job plus.
Well, also, I'm not married and don't have kids, so that I don't have to. I don't have that pressure over me that I have to have other mouths to feed. But my big mouth is enough to feed. But that said, I'm a writer. Did you guys see Star Trek Continues, the episode I co-wrote, called Lolani? It was the second one they did.
Wow, yes, that was awesome, Lolani.
Well, yeah. Did you see the third one, the Mirror Mirror episode?
Yes.
That one, I gotta say, I like that better, only because they were able to get their act together. I mean, there were no problems on a technical level, and it usually takes 3 to get. I mean, look at the Star Trek shows. By the 3rd season, things are cooking.
Right.
But, well, they save time. By the 3rd episode, things are cooking for Star Trek Continues.
Yeah.
Again, that was for no money, but other gigs I've been doing have been for bread, and it's just been, I believe in this project, this Hollywood Sci-Fi Museum, and we all do. And it's, what our passion is, and we're almost to that step where we can make it happen, make it so.
Make it so.
Yeah, and please come. Yes, you and your wife.
Make it come.
Yes, definitely not. That only
make it so. Sorry, I meant make it so.
Yes,
you said the
exactly.
word. Never mind.
Did you know? There's a girl. I got to tell you this quick story before I split. There was a girl who sat on our bridge at WonderCon last year, and she was dressed as Deanna Troi. And she had the hair, and she looked perfect. She looked gorgeous, right? Posted it on our Facebook, and people were saying, "Did you know you know who that is?" I said, "No." I said, "That's the porno star who was in the porno version of Star Trek Next Generation." And her name is. She's named after the girl from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
April O'Neil.
Yes, April O'Neil is her porno name, and so people were complaining about that and saying, "How dare you promote a porn star on your website?" And I said, and I venomously supported this, and this is exactly what I said. A, we weren't supporting her. B, she was the best cosplay of anybody who came to our booth at Star Trek. C, we had no clue who she was, and it doesn't matter. And Dee, and this is one of the most important things, she's one of our supporters. She was one of our first supporters on our first Kickstarter. And God bless her for, coming all the way out there to dress up, to come and sit on our bridge, and I don't give a damn what she does for that. And that kind of shut up the naysayers after that, because I'm very protective of our fans, and I don't care what they do for a living.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the end of my soapbox. But yeah.
Well,
that's For what it's worth, there is one out there. I have only seen the clips that are on YouTube that are G-rated, but the set look great.
Yeah, I heard that I don't have it. I haven't purchased it, but they have the X-rated disc and what they called a party disc that was just story that you could watch through. Yeah.
Was it 2 minutes long?
Doesn't that go against what they're supposed to be about? There's not supposed to be story.
I don't know, but it's supposed to be a good Tasha Yar story.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
They did a TOS version. They did TOS porno as well.
Yeah. That
the set looks really good and the costumes looked really good from what I saw. But yeah, it's they're putting more. And something else kind of funny. I can't remember who it was. Someone posted a Spider-Man 2 porno that they had the costumes looking just like the comic book.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
They had Mephisto, and they had the original looking Electro, and all these things in their original costumes. And some mainstream director reposted this saying, the porno people are getting it more right than Sony. So I found that kind of interesting. I don't know what the story was like or the acting, but the costumes look dead on.
Right.
I watch it for the articles.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Yes.
Hey, thank
you very much.
So where can people go to find more information about your foundation?
You can go to HollywoodSci-Fi.com, SCIFI. You can go to Google and just type in Hollywood Science Fiction Museum. Any of those now will get you to us, which I'm very grateful. But yeah, we're the only Hollywood Sci-Fi Museum out there. I'm happy to say.
Are you guys taking open donations?
Oh, sure. And it's not just donations for nothing. I mean, you can get our shirts, you can get our hats, our mugs, our tote bags. We got a bunch of stuff like that. And our new shirts are awesome. I'm very happy with those because it's got pretty much all the most famous silhouettes of starships lined across the thing. And
that's something I'd really like.
Yeah, and it's blue on black, white and blue on black, and it really stands out. Really pops. Really pops.
All right. Well, again, thank you for being with us. And this episode will be out this upcoming Monday.
Brilliant.
Thank you all for listening. My name's Aaron.
I'm Marty.
We will see you later. You have been listening to the Starfleet Escape Podcast on the Four-Eyed Radio Network, where you can catch a new episode every other Monday. You can find us on the web at sfescapepod.com. Follow us on Twitter at sfescapepod. Like us on Facebook.com/sfescapepod. And add us to your circle on Google Plus by going to google.sfescapepod.com.
This has been another great presentation by the Four-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at foureyedradio.com.